What's up? We got Arrow Season 3, Episode 3, Corto Maltese. So this episode starts off with a flashback to the Season 2 finale where Thea went into that car with Merlin. Remember that? And said about how she'd go and she just doesn't want to get hurt anymore. So yeah, so then we see Oliver still trying to track down who killed Sarah, and the guy said some woman told him to go, and we don't know who that is. So yeah, Oliver's like, wait, no, not Oliver. Roy's like, hey, Thea may not want to come back. Thea may not want to come back. The letter said so. And Oliver's like, she wrote that to you, Roy, not to him. And after seeing what Laurel's going over after losing Sarah, it's time for Thea to come back. Yeah. So then here's a funny joke that Diggle makes about, yeah, so Thea's like, Felicity's like, hey, she has to go to work, but she says about how Thea isn't texting from Italy. She's texting from Corto Maltese. And then Diggle's like, that's an island. What's up with your family in islands, Oliver? Yeah, what is up with Diggle? What's up with Oliver's family in islands? Oliver's on Lee and you. Thea's on Cultural Maltese. What is up with the Queen family in Ireland? So yeah, Oliver goes. So we see Diggle, and he wants to watch over baby Sarah. Remember, they named their daughter after Sarah at the end of the last episode, and she's like, you can't do that, Diggle. And he's like, did you quit the team again? And he's like, no, Oliver's going to Corto Maltese. She's like, why don't you go with him? And he's like, why? Because there's an Argus agent that's over there that hasn't filled in his days. So I guess Diggle's on to this adventure too. So Oliver goes looking for Thea, but we learn that she now goes by Mia. And Merlin almost puts an arrow in Oliver because for some reason, Merlin doesn't make... Yeah, this episode doesn't have flashbacks to Hong Kong. It has flashbacks to what Thea had to do while she was in 5 months, while she was in Corto Maltese. I almost said Hong Kong for some reason. Okay, so Oliver meets Thea, or Mia, as she likes to be called, at the cafe. Oliver likes her hairstyle. I don't think anyone does. Not even me. It just doesn't feel Thea-ish. Is it meant? How old is Thea by this point? Because Thea was 19 in Season 2. She was 18 in Season 1, 19 in Season 2. So is she still 19 or is she 20? We have no idea. I'm going to be guessing in Season 4 she's probably going to be 20 years old. We will never know because they never mention how old she is. So, yeah. So Oliver tries to talk to her. She's saying she's not going back to Starling City. So yes, Diggle runs into the operative, and he says about how he has a meeting. But yeah, he's a rogue agent he's a rogue agent. Yeah, he's a rogue agent who decides to go after Diggle's family, but Diggle punches him out. So back in Starling City, we have Laurel and Felicity, but I'm going to talk about the Laurel. Back in Starling City, we have Laurel, who attends another one of her AA meetings. Because for some reason, this is still a plot point. And it's a plot point because we learned that one of the participants in the AA meeting has a boyfriend who beats her up. So Laurel decides she wants to go after this guy, but Quentin's like, no. He doesn't mention Yeah, I'm glad he hasn't mentioned anything. Remember, Quentin doesn't know that Sarah's dead, but he doesn't mention anything about it. Yeah, but Laurel decides to approach Ted Grant, aka we know him as Wildcat. But she tries to approach him and he's like, hey, she says about, he's like, hey, if he's trying to stop a good kid from making a bad mistake, yeah. So he's like, so Laurel dons a hockey mask and a bat and beats up the girl's boyfriend, but loses because, one, she has no fighting, she has no training, and she's just doing this to, like, get out of her grief over Sarah's death. But she has no training, she has no training, no experience. So she gets beat up. Quentin, like, yells at her, saying about how this isn't her. Again, he doesn't mention anything about Sarah, which is good. But he says about how this isn't her. About how this isn't her and what's going on. And she just said she will. So she tries to get Oliver to train her, but Oliver's like, no. After what happened with Sarah, what would happen if Quentin found if something bad happened to you and Quentin found out about it? No, I'm not going to train you, Laurel. So she goes to Ted Grant for the training. And he's like, sure. So, yeah, so let's talk about Felicity. So, Felicity, we'll talk about the other stuff, but we'll talk about Felicity. So, Felicity is, so Felicity goes into Ray Palmer's office, and Ray Palmer reveals that it's actually her office. I don't know what's up with Ray Palmer, but I'm getting I know my Aunt Dewey totally doesn't like this guy at all. So I don't know how she's gonna, as I said before, I don't know how she's gonna feel when we get to when she watches season 3 of Arrow and gets to this point. But yeah, we all know Brandon Routh played Superman and Superman Returns, but yeah, so while on the mission, Diggle decides to Felicity. Laurel asks Felicity, well, Diggle's asking Felicity stuff. So yeah, but back in Corto, I'm gonna call it Corto Maltese. We see Roy talking with Thea about how he's the reason why she left Starling, and she's like, no, you're not the reason why she left Starling. She left Starling because of the lie between her brother and her mom. And we all see Malcolm Merlin just sketchily walking by as Roy leaves, proving that Malcolm Merlin is a sketch lord. And we also we still see flashbacks of Thea's training with Merlin in Corto Maltese. So Oliver tells Thea Oliver wants to tell Thea the truth, and Oliver's like, and Diggle's like, no, Oliver, you can't do that, because if you tell Thea the truth about the lies and about everything you told her for like 2 years, you will lose her. So he's not gonna tell her about the whole Arrow thing. He decides to tell her about how his dad really died, because originally he told her that he drowned, but now he's telling her that he shot himself. So obviously able to convince Thea to come back to Starling. Merlin doesn't want that, so Thea bests Merlin in a fight, and he's like, okay, I guess you're going back to Starling. So yeah. So Thea comes back, and then as Oliver and Roy are talking about, do you think Roy was seeing anyone in Corto Maltese? But then Roy's like, if Thea was seeing anyone, he would know. But then Nyssa shows up and is like, where's Sarah? To end the episode. Okay, so what did I think of this episode? this episode was great. I liked the corto, the Thea flashback. I don't like her hair, but I'm glad she came back. I'm glad she came back. But yeah, and the Nissa thing, Nissa just shows out of nowhere. Sarah's dead, but Nissa just comes out of nowhere saying, "Where's Sarah? Like, where is she? Like, I get why she comes to the Arrow Cave because Oliver knows her, so she would think that Oliver would know where she is, and Oliver does not know where she is, and unfortunately, Nissa will find out too. But yeah, that was kind of a, and yeah, so, yeah, and Diggle defeated that Shaw guy, so, yeah, but anyway, that's it for this episode, and I'll see you next time on some more Arrow.